everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, or actually this morning's live, I would like to go over a quick overview of what I see developing this Saturday morning. As we can see, Ethereum's busted out over 3,600, up about almost 1%, about 0.8%, about 29 bucks. But this is a substantial push out, and the fact we're able to hold this area does lead some credibility here to the fact that it does look like we're building this inverse head and shoulders. We were able to hold that 3,500. We pushed out. Our next top resistance is going to be right around 3,691. And then we're going to have to push through in a fashion to not have to come back test. We have two layers that can either be on Ethereum, and these are very key indicators, either 3,700 or 3,940. Either way, it looks like we're creating this inverse head and shoulders on Ethereum. And that should take us over time, even if we're bearish, to get a bearish rejection on the rising broadening wedge, if that's in fact what this is. That still leaves the target way up there around 4,500. So it's definitely something to be looked at. We've got Bitcoin at 97,845, but that definitely looks like Bitcoin in itself is looking to rally out as well. We've talked about the fact that even if this is a rising broadening wedge, we can still have this one big left shoulder right now. And Bitcoin could create a nice V-shaped recovery. And then it could top out even at 122,782, which is the technical target from the cup and handle before we broke out. And that's why until this plays out, until this target is hit, I'm still optimistic that we still have another leg up. Bitcoin certainly looks like it wants to come back out. And if you look at it in the higher time frame, you could certainly see the case be made where that could be one big left shoulder. I think when you bring it into the daily time frame, it makes a little bit more sense. But I wanted to knock these 2 points out when I first started. If you missed it, you got to go back to the beginning. I'm not going to go circle around. But I want to make sure I keep everybody informed when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum on what the possibilities are. If at any point Bitcoin were to break this uptrending support at 93,500 area, the rising broadening wedge would break down if it got a resistance there. But fortunately, we got a nice, what looks like Gartley W reversal. Those are bullish, at least in the short term. And then we could very well come up another 20,000 points roughly and get our rejection point up in that area. It is possible, either 114 or 122. It's definitely possible. So that's the way that I would like it to play out. Whether or not it does in this thinly traded market, we'll watch over the next 45 minutes or so while we're together. I got to leave here. I got to be at a basketball game at noon for my nephew. It's his playoff game. So I wanted to do a live this morning so we get Dutch pace. Understanding, though, in the morning on Saturday morning, when the market's a little red, it's going to be a little more tricky to convince people to maybe take a look, to maybe have a little transparency with themselves. It's not everything is falling. DGB's up another 6% today, up over 1.5% roughly. You've got XDC 4.34% up about 8.7 cents. And then we've got everything else pretty flat. We've got everything else pretty flat this morning. Not much movement. As you can see, nothing's much down better than... VELO is the biggest hit right now. It looks like at 5.6%. IOTA is down about 2%. AMP's down about 2.4%. I mean, it's very mixed bag right now. You've got JASM up 1%. And IOST up 3.4%. You've got XRP Healthcare up 3.74%, just over 18.4 cents this morning. So we've got a little bit of volatility here. And we're looking to see if Bitcoin does in fact play out here. If we look at this in the... Let's look at this in the smaller time from like the 2 hourly. Because we do have a golden cross that we're trying to hold. We have a short-term bull flag. Bigger bull flag here that hasn't quite played out. You would get the totality of this first flag if this second one holds and then pushes up. It should come up to around 101. That's what we were talking about yesterday. Maybe 100K in the short term. But it definitely has. It looks like another layer. I would still say probably up here is what it's trying to fill. Even if it gets rejected at 101, 102. But we'll see if this plays out. I think Ethereum's giving us a little bit of a hint right now if it continues on this thinly traded Saturday. The weekends are thinly traded simply because the ETFs are closed. And when you have the stock market closed, you don't have that extra capital flowing in the ETF market. So now it's all based on crypto. So that's why you can get this up and down volatility. You can move things a lot faster to the upside or to the downside on these thinly traded weekends. and it becomes integral for me to keep everybody informed when we get into these moments. XRP I'll get to after I do the intro. So please, if you are watching right now, make sure to hit that like button. And your engagement, the likes, it certainly does help more people find this info that need it. The more people are engaging and commenting and sharing, the more YouTube's going to share this. It's just that simple. So I do appreciate everybody who takes a moment to hit that like button, comment, share. If you don't, no big deal. It's just if you take the extra step, I appreciate it because we can help expand this beautiful audience. And I can't do it by myself. So if you help me out, things do explode in a rather quick way. So good morning. 9:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, January 4th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XLM and Future Digibyte OG, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. DGB is a long-term hold for me. It's my baby. For anybody who's new to this channel, you might not know that. But DGB for me is a long-term hold. I bought it at 004, 007, 008, and then 104. And it's gone up some 50% since we bought the rest of it on Monday. So it's been a pretty quick rally. Not unlike what we were discussing in here. We talked about how it was severely undervalued. I still think ZIL is severely undervalued as well. Looks like it's about to break out of this bull flag. I firmly expect it up at the 2.67 layer later on in the next day or two. Just like how we've seen DGB have this nice rally up, I expect to see ZIL in that same exact area. The expectation here is 18.7 or 1.87 cents for DGB. But for ZIL, and don't ignore it, I fully anticipate this to play out and end up here because DGB's up around this level on its own chart. And I firmly expect ZIL to end up finding itself around that 2.6 cent level. And I expect that in the immediate short term. If it breaks down, it breaks down. But this is my expectation. It doesn't always play out to what I'm expecting. Sometimes we get a manipulated pull or push down and then a rally out. But this looks like it's meant to have a breakout of about 14% in the short term. But it remains to be seen whether or not that happens. And I've been watching it very closely correlate with Ethereum. So the fact that Ethereum is doing what it's doing, it looks like it's going to give the oomph to ZIL to finish off that move. XRP's retaking $2.45. So I'm very happy about what I see this morning. Very happy. It's played our formation that we have in the short term out perfectly. Came back down to the uptrending support. And now it looks like it's converging. If we hold this $2.44 area approximately, we should be able to break up and out of this consolidation at the top of this pennant flag. And then if we put it into today's terms, the technical target would still be $3.45 overall. That's the first target out of the pennant flag, and that's if you measure the depth of the flag. So simply, if you don't know what that means, you're simply measuring the widest base. Then you're going to put it at the breakout point, and that's going to give you a technical target here. Out of the pennant flag, the short target, the maximum target is you have to get past the cycle high of this pennant flag. So of the pennant itself, once you break the pennant, then you can measure the actual flagpole. And the flagpole suggests we can go up to $5.39 if this plays out bullish. And ironically, or more correlation for us, our technical target out of that 7-year descending wedge that started in January of 2018 and broke out in November of 2024, so just about 2 months ago. The technical target was $5.49. We reevaluate because the pennant flag says $5.39. So now my technical target is $5.39 instead of $5.49 because I'd rather base it on the pennant flag than some kind of, close call with the descending wedge. But it always lines up similar. So somewhere around $5.40 should be the culmination of this cycle. Whether or not we get on top of it and we have a super cycle is unbeknownst. If we hit $5.43 or $5.40 and reject, it could be a perfect top for this cycle. That doesn't mean it ends. It just means we might go $5.40 back test the 2021 or the 2018 all-time high at $3.60, $3.58, and then go from there. If we hold that back test, then we'd be off to the races because we do know in totality we actually have one target a little bit higher, and the way we come up with that is if you had some kind of back test appropriately, and then you play out, and I'll show you how you get this, but this is if you play out 100% perfectly, and that, actually it's up too high. No, that's not supposed to be there. We have it measured out. This in totality would be if you had the back test like I talked about at $3.45, then you could find yourself up at $6.79, but that's only conditional if, I'm going to turn this white, only if you hit that back test appropriately. Then you could bounce off a 348, re-break 540 and not double top, and then you would have a technical move up to 679. But that's only if it played out truthful. We also have a monthly fair value gap. The FVG is at $1.82, the monthly close after December closed. So that's a good layer of support, and that gives us more of a characteristic to break out. So now it's at least 78% chance to break out of this pennant flag. At least. We haven't made a lower low. We've continued to make lower highs. The moment we make a higher low, we break out of the pennant and it's confirmed. The moment we make a lower low would be the breakdown confirmed of a pennant flag. So right now we're in great shape. XRP Rippers, thank you so much for the $10 donation and being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. 20th YouTube super chat and says, let's go DGB. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, we'll see if I can get into SHX. Marie, I'll definitely, if I have a chance, I will. I'm just a little bit, I just got to be on the ball today because I got the playoff game for my nephew. So I got a few things to take care of before I get there, but I've got plenty of time. So we've only been on for 12 minutes. I just want to make sure that I cover everything that I can think of in my head. Bitcoin, as I said, it looks like it's about to play off of this bull flag, and now it's up a couple hundred points since we started. I still feel like ZIL is getting ready to make that next move up on this bull flag. I appreciate that, Marie. I really do, love, but I intend on getting to that for you. So I'm going to actually put it in here just so I don't forget. You've been very nice and patient, so I do appreciate that understanding more than you know. So I'll go to that in a second. So I put SHX on the board. It's at 1.459 cents. It's moved pretty good. Actually, I might as well just look at it now. I have the charts made. So study chart scenarios and outcome potentials. Steven, November 16th. I remember I made this November 16th, 2024, and we talked about the breakout back here. If and when it happened, we would need to get up over 1146 and hold to have the parabolic spike. And look what's happened. We held the back test now of 1146. Wow, perfect timing, Marie, to have me look at this. This is something I discussed to Steven on November 16th. I haven't looked at it really since. And we just had to wait for it to play out. That's incredible. Now, if it holds this layer, you're looking at a technical move to about 2.282 cents. 2.82 cents. You've already broke out of the cup and handle. This is actually very, very bullish. Looks like a bullish handle as well that was formed. Cup and handle for sure. Looks like a bullish handle. It actually formed 100% like you would want for this to be a bullish outcome. If I'm being honest with you. Nice bullish outcome. We have the cup. What happened here? We have, I don't know why I put on two different things. But we have the cup. We have a perfect handle to back test the cup formation. And now it looks like it's breaking out. Technical target right now would be 2.282 cents. Assuming we hold 1.4 or 1.1 cent, our technical target right now is a healthy move. It's about holy smokes, 55% from here if it plays out. 55% from when it plays out. And this has been a long time in the making. Very long time in the making. So, and I wish my exchange that I was on had this, but they do not. So, the multiple exchanges. So, this is a very, very interesting one that's about to break out, it looks like. And this is on the Stellar Network. So, it's in the ecosystem, the XLM ecosystem. So, excellent eye, Marie. Very excellent eye. That's an excellent eye. Hopefully, some of you got in when we were charting much lower. As I was very transparent that if I could have, I would have bought in at 006. I looked on my exchanges on one that I thought it was on, but it was not. So that's a beautiful spot at the breakout. Another area would have been 008. Another area would have been at 1.1. So there's been many areas. That 1.1 was the make it or break it zone on that cup and handle. And it looks like it's very bullish. And I told Steven to watch that area a long time ago. I typed it up in the strategic spot where the breakout point would be 2. We just didn't know. So now I can at least put it there. But that's the area. I remember when Steven asked this. I think it was Stephen Langley in our audience. I haven't seen that name in a while. You bought in at 001. That's excellent. It's not available to me on my exchanges. I was on HOTCOIN at one point, but they took it off. Very disappointed by that because I waited a long time for the zones I wanted. But it never became available for me. So, some things you just have to kind of watch and be happy for others. Bought on Lobster. Just be careful on Lobster because there's a lot of spliced assets. So you just got to be smart when you trade on Lobster. A lot of people have been ripped off on Lobster because of different things being created in different, like, let's just say like XRP, they would splice it into a fake XRP or different things. So I like Lobster a lot though, but a lot of people have had a lot of issues. But if you know how to navigate it, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Good for you, Marie. Good for you. Tom, can you buy some of these tokens that aren't on Coinbase on the wallet? You can buy some of these tokens that aren't on. I gotcha. You bought it on Stellar Network. Yeah, a lot of people have found a good way to buy it on the Stellar Network. My aim shifted a while ago to VELO, not because I don't think SHX is good. It's just because if I had to have one or the other and VELO was available, I was okay with it. But obviously, there's a lot to be said for both. SHX's Stronghold is I think it's great on the ecosystem with XLM on the Stellar Network. It's excellent. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance real quick. As again, Ethereum is helping the cause here right now, being at 3640. It really is helping the cause. Bitcoin dominance seems to universally be falling down as well. If we don't hold that 57.01%, which it looks like we're not, that death cross will be valid. And not only would we come to 55.59, we very well could be on the verge of coming down to that 52.39%. If that happens, oh, this would be beautiful. As we know, that rising channel is already busted. And it's pretty interesting how you can look at this because even though that rising channel broke, couldn't you argue on the dominance chart that you could say we're doing something like this? And then if it breaks this further uptrend, that we could be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble for Bitcoin dominance. And that's what you want. You want a lot of trouble here. That's what I want. That's what I think all of you should want too. But we'll get rid of this because it's that uptrend that matters. It's truly the uptrend that matters right now. If that busts, oh, this could be beautiful. This could be a beautiful sign. Because even if you look at it from here where that channel broke, I dare say, I mean, you've got still a rising channel in a different sense. It's weird. It's almost like this pattern's getting ready to die. It fell in from a rising channel into another upward consolidation that are typically not bullish. But yeah, we'll see if this plays up or down. I would love to see this finally break down on the Bitcoin dominance. We've been waiting. But at the same time, we talk about you have to have simultaneous move in to Ethereum at the time that you start to lose the capital in Bitcoin. And fortunately, as the dominance is dropping, that doesn't mean Bitcoin can't go up. It just needs to lose the dominance. See, that's where the misconception happens. Bitcoin can absolutely go up with the altcoins in alt season, but it can't have the dominance of the money. So it could still, because of buy-ins by MicroStrategy or, the U.S. government owning several 100,000 Bitcoin, so they'd already have a Bitcoin reserve. Don't let them fool you into thinking they have to make one. They already have one. That's why they're trying to make taxes exempt on crypto. In a sense, until 2026, just follow the money, follow the government. So I don't think we have to be afraid of crypto right now. I really don't. The only thing we have to be nervous of is when we come to like pennant flag uptrends, if we come to rising, broadening wedges, if it's at the uptrend and attempting to break through, we have to at least talk about it. But I've still been very transparent with myself and all of you. 122,000 for Bitcoin was the technical target out of the cup and handle. Until that happens, this all seems like white noise to me. I sold out a lot of my empty parts, but they were either reinvested on those drops of 25% or more that we had, or I have it saved to the side for my remodeling of my kitchen and for the windows that I'm putting in. That'll be put in February. I've already got the quote for my kitchen. Other than that, though, I've got a lot of money in crypto. Like, the misconception is that I sold 75% of all crypto. No, I sold 75% of my junk. And I was very clear about it. I don't consider ISO and IoT tokens junk. I don't. There's other assets that I could buy before this rally that I thought was going to do pretty well that could pay for my kitchen. Unfortunately, it did. But as far as the actual utility tokens, that's where we got to make sure we're paying attention. I have not sold my utility tokens. In fact, I've gotten longer on them. As you know, at 1.04 cents on DGB, I got longer. At 1.9 cents on ZIL, I got longer. I fully anticipate ZIL to have a breakout. Again, I fully anticipate this to go up higher. We've been doing good without dominance. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm very happy with one thing. Can I be honest? And yeah, I'm going to talk a lot this morning because that's what I like to do. And I like to make sure everybody's on the same page. I am very proud of my baby DGB. It often gets overlooked by the big boys. Even though it's only got a max circulating supply like 21 billion tokens and 17 billion plus are already in circulation. But we talked about it at 104. Was anybody here on Wednesday? Actually, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday. It was January 1st on Wednesday. Did anybody buy with me on DGB when I capped off my 1 million tokens? Just out of curiosity. Did anybody buy there when I said I am not afraid? In fact, I'm going to buy these in front of all of you because it's not worth waiting the last 5% after a 27% dump down. And then I said I'm going to buy it at 104. We did that on Wednesday and it's up for like there's like this is what I mean. If you missed out on XRP, we had this at 104 and DGB had only gone up, you know, a small amount in comparison to where it was at. And now in just since Wednesday, it's up 46% since that buy signal on Wednesday. It was me asking if to buy and I did. Excellent. Excellent, D. I remember you asking as well. You asked if it was a good time to buy or if we should wait. And I said, well, I bought like, I don't know what it was, 600,000 back, 800. I don't remember how much it was, 6 or 800,000 I bought back at that point because I had a strategic sale when it hit this resistance, saved 25 to 27%, put all of those additional savings because I had 1 million tokens to start from 004 and 007 and 8. And I put that additional capital into ZIL and now I have 343,000 ZIL, up from 100,000. So I had a reason for what I was doing. It was very risky. But I had a reason why. It hadn't back tested this, and it made it. Yes, I did do the intro. I did do the intro, but for you, Joseph. Oh, wait a minute. There was 2 of you that actually talked about it. I am sorry, because there was more than one of you who asked me about DGB on Wednesday. So yeah, you're right. I just seen the last comment as well. There was a few of you, the names I'll recognize, because there was probably a group of 5 or 6 of you that asked. Yep. A lot of you asked. It's awesome. Thanks, Tom. You got my bag of DGB up to 350,000. Excellent. You got, or not me, but you got your bag up to. That's excellent here. Like, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't tell you what to do, nor do I want to pretend to be one. I like what I do. I really appreciate my role. And I think I found my calling 4 years ago when I started doing this. I'm loving Crypto Do XRP, Ricky Ripple, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over a year. XRP's biggest loser, welcome back for another month in Tom's Army, over 3 months with the XP Meteor. I love it. I love it. It has a comment as well that I have to get to. So I'm waiting for this to play out for DGB. First zone is about 1.8 cents. What's up, Tom? Finally got DGB and ZIL this morning. Still a good buy. Not that it's not a bad buy. I think ZIL and the positioning it is in, you're going to probably have an immediate return here. Even with DGB, you probably will. But right now, with ZIL, the beauty of buying this morning is that it clearly looks like it's on a bull flag. It's clearly taking over the 200-day. It looks like in the 4-hourly. And to me, it looks like it has a technical short-term move up to 2.64. And then we can see if there's further consolidation or if it can just break right through. But the beauty of that is that's a 15% move for you right now. Assuming this plays out, because it's still trying to invalidate the death cross, as you can see. But once this invalidates, if this pushes up here, that's a healthy 15% move. And then obviously, you can decide whether or not it was a good move. But I honestly think at these points, I'm not looking to do much here except hold. I'm just waiting for this alt season to roll around. Unless it's junk that I need to sell off, And I call it junk if it's not IOT or ISO. So like I had a leverage position yesterday in Ethereum from the night before from 3,330 roughly, or 3,430. And I think it was 3,430. No, it might have been, no, it was 3,330. See, it may have made that move quick. And then at 36.18, I got out of that, let it consolidate overnight. I had sold out of my leverage position as ZIL, as you guys know in the live yesterday, and then I rebought it back when it came back down to consolidate right where I wanted to when it came close to this consolidation. And now it's kind of like the waiting game. It's not, I see short-term moves that I'm trying to take advantage of, and I don't advise leverage trading at all. These are risks to myself, to nobody else. In my leverage trading account, if I'm being honest, is 0.007% of my total holdings of crypto. So it's not even 1%. And that's not even in the norm. This is just because I put a little bit on Bitcoin when it came down 97,700. I put a little bit on there. Not a lot. I didn't get 97,500 or 400. It was just a little bit, right around 97,530 area. And then, or 97,700 area. And then if it comes down here, it's got plenty of room. But I'm looking for this next step here if it's going to play out. Because they had a bull flag, created another little bull flag. I at least expect it to hit 100K. But we'll see. On thinly traded weekends, it's very difficult to say if it's just going to go up in this exact moment. But D says, my only regret is finding your content way too late. Discovered your channel and, oh, I got to read that. I love when people type that. I love when people type that because that's usually the universal notion. The only regret after watching my channel for some length of time is that people didn't find it soon enough is their only regret. And the biggest solace that I have is the ones who found my channel in 2021 is stuck around. I discovered your channel in September last year, and even then you still managed to change my life for the better. Oh, I appreciate it. Honestly, finding me in September was a blessing because as long as you found me before November, you could have capitalized on, you know, that 50 cent area, but you could have watched for that impending or the pending that we've seen play out just beautifully now. But we had the pending breakout that we had targeted out, and now it's just a matter of the waiting game. It really is just a matter of the waiting game. This uptrend even, if we come for an uptrending resistance, you can still see how it could even come up here and get rejected. And this could be a rejection point at all-time high. So it doesn't necessarily need to break to the all-time high and then bust out past it. But this is at least suggesting a retest of that uptrend, of the cycle uptrend too. But it's all conditional. We could still consolidate, and I'll be very transparent. If this gets rejected, this could still maintain bullishness and come all the way back down to that 217 area, which I hope it doesn't take that route. I just hope this bull flag plays out like it should. But you can never tell. 4 hourly looks very nice. 4 hour reversal, long leg doji. Looks like it's playing out in the last 3 hours like it should. We just don't want it to be overzealous here. We want to have continued push, but we want to do it in a momentous way. I'm going to go bring Julie her coffee. I'll be right back. Sorry, but I want to go bring this so she doesn't have to get up. All right. Sorry about that, but I heard the coffee beep. So I wanted to go bring her that. Yeah, I was able to get 3,500 XRP at 46 cents. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, that is excellent. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. So that cost you about, anywhere between 1,050 and 1,100 bucks approximately, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's about what it would have been at that zone. Am I wrong? I think something around 1,100 bucks at that zone. But look at how far you've come, my friend. Jesus, Louisos. That is awesome. So from 46 cents, wow, you're doing excellent. I mean, you're looking at over 430% right now. That's unbelievable. Now my girlfriend says I speak about you almost in a religious way. She also bought about 4,500. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! That's what I'm talking about. I would like to believe it's our change in mindset. I had a lot of, you know, the talkers yesterday, but I actually ignored it. My New Year's resolution is to stay transparent, keep the non-judgmental tone down, but also when I get a hectic in here, my biggest growth this year will be proven through the skeptics that I'm not going to resonate with them. I'm going to keep my even tone, but I'm going to understand what some of the comments are. Maybe somebody is not heckling and they just don't understand like we do. I'm going to be more understanding, but at the same time, I'm not feeding into all that. That's why you haven't noticed me comment to the hecklers anymore this year since January 1st. That's a resolution I have because I want to focus on the community and not have to go up and down, left and right. Thanks to you, Tom, I got 10,000 tokens at 88 cents. You seen that last call right before I was about to push 91. See, some people did take note at that 88 cent to 91 cent mark. That was our last call before the breakout. Once 91 cent broke, there was no turning back. You, my friend, made an excellent decision. Excellent decision from there. So it cost you $8,800 for those 10,000 tokens, and now it's worth $24,000. I can't think of a single person who's going to be mad about a $16,000 return. It's all about the timing. It's not about the length of time in the market. It's all about timing the market. And that's actually probably at 88 cents. That's probably one of the more strategic buys I've seen in the comments, only because that's a zone. Once it broke that resistance, there was no stopping us to at least $1.18. And then obviously, well, not obviously, but that handle target of $1.37 had no choice but to play out. The descending wedge had already cleared. And you made sure to have the confirmation on that descending wedge before you even bought. Like, some people got stuck in the wedge and we had to sit for a while. Some people bought it after the wedge broke out and it was showing the push on the cup and handle. There's no wrong way to do it. That's why when you look back on it, I kept saying in 2023 and 24, I can't believe the mindset shift. Just 2 short years ago, now it's 4 short years ago. But in 2021, we were talking about how everybody wanted to buy at $1.60, $1.70 when we were selling, paying $17,000, $16,000 for 10,000 tokens. How different it was when it was at 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents, 80 cents, 70 cents. When you could get 10,000 tokens for, like this person said, 8,800, that's now worth 25 grand almost. Or somebody else buying it where it would be the equivalent of 10,000 tokens would be 4,500 or 3,600 or 5,500. And now it's 24,000. Like, that was the whole point back in the bear market. We're really going to complain about pennies on the dollar for the ones who hadn't bought with us yet, because they wanted sub 20 cents when we got to 28. It may not have got sub 20, but for me to say it had a potential to go sub 20 all the way at $1.66 and it came to 28 was remarkable. The fact we were able to call it dead on the money at 52 cents was my greatest achievement. Dogbite, thank you so much for that donation, my friend. That's incredibly generous. $19.99, I believe that said. That's awesome. That's awesome. I might even have to go back on my phone. But that's why I was being like, I felt like I was in La La Land, like Looney Tunesville, because nobody wanted to buy it when it was 10,000 tokens. The same ones who were animate about buying it when it was at $1.50, $1.20, $1.18, $1.75, $1.60, $1.40. They refused to buy it at 35, 40, 50, 60, 28, 37. For some reason, that wasn't a good deal. A lot of people are kicking themselves, I guarantee it, but that's okay. You live and you learn. Do you know how many mistakes I made in the stock market and in the early days of crypto when I didn't understand the different exchanges and how to utilize the exchange rates to my benefit when I had holdings. Like the fact that I could have took my stuff from Uphold, I could have just simply sold it on a different exchange like BITUNIX, and then I could have even sent it back in USDC, Tether, whatever, and then just offloaded on Uphold instead of paying what I ended up paying back in the day in 21 is on an $18,000 sale. It cost me $1,000. I was so pissed. And just to know I could have went on BITUNIX and it would have cost me like $40. So there's a lot of things I made mistakes about in 21 that I won't ever make in 25. Like if you watch me in 21, I know nothing that I know in 25. It's just that simple. I sold 560 Bitcoins for a sword in RuneScape. Oh, there's a lot of stories like yours, my friend. So you sold it for a sword. Some sold it for a slice of pizza. You know, some sold it for arcade games. Oh, there's all these stories. And you're one of the smart ones who actually figured out how to do it in 2012. That's incredible. You know, nobody ever said it's going to be easy looking back. That's why for me, I just know that 35-cent price point that we got on that rebuy the second time in 23. Because we had a sale from 28.5 to 44 cents to increase capital for our holdings. And that's all it was a capital tug. We hadn't got quantitative easing yet. We were still in tightening. So the moment they announced quantitative easing, I'll never forget it in early 23. And I said, buy anything you want. You have to. It's all up from here. And it took a while. You have sold 500,000 Doge for 2,000 short-term profit. Hey, profit is profit, but 500,000 Doge, wow. That's a lot of Doge. I mean, I don't want to say that you made the wrong decision, but, you know, I probably would have waited until it, well, you know, I guess I can't say that because if it were to just come over here and back test, but like if I'm looking at this, I would say, you know, I kind of like it like this still, though. Even if you want to say it's something like, I still think it's better like this. So we're still looking to back test this channel at like 44 cents. Because it did have a weird breakdown out of this. So we got to come back up and at least reevaluate this. XLM, while we are all together, how long have I been talking? Holy moly, 37 minutes. I knew it was going to get away from me quick. That's why I started out with everything. We'll see, though. We got to make sure this isn't a fake out on a thinly traded weekend with Ethereum. If Ethereum shows us that validation, I got no doubt about it that Bitcoin's probably going to finish this bull flag off. And the alts look like they're ready to have just a surge. But XLM right now up 1.79% over 46 cents, which is excellent. It's come right up to the top of this channel. Which, I mean, you can call it whatever you want. I just think it's a downward channel, which I really like these. But understand, if it doesn't break out immediately, you could still come to the uptrend at 40 cents and confirm that area. There's nothing wrong with that, 39.5 even. But with the way it's recrossed, you really don't want to lose the 20-day and the 4-hourly now. 42.7 should be the floor. But in the short term, we should be trying to push past that 48 cents. And if this is meant to break out, our next short-term target could very well. And yeah, you would have to have a back test likely on this breakout point. But the short target is 68 cents. Long target, if this plays out truthfully, is 94 cents. If it breaks down, well, that yellow line way at the bottom is the technical uptrend before the breakout. So if you were to come all the way back down, I mean, that wouldn't be too beautiful. But it doesn't look like we're in that setup right now. So I'm waiting to see if this plays out. I understand you could turn this a bunch of different ways, but this is what I think is the best outlook for XLM. And I think by looking at the chart like this, it's the most transparent that we can be with the chart. So I'm going to stay on the transparent mind with the chart. I like when the chart's transparent, and I like when it does the work for me. So I'm going to just let it play out. So that is as easy as I can say it for XLM. I haven't been talking about it a lot the last couple of days because it's working within the formation. Much like I've talked about XRP, but I haven't stayed 100% on it as far as the only thing we look at because there's a lot going on. Right now, I was expecting some kind of push up like that and then a back test if it was going to do it. And we're still in the midst of it. We'll see if it ends up playing out and then back test these areas. We need to get past, we're almost there. We're at almost $2.46. We need to get past 247, 248 to be sure. Nice 4-hour reversal here. So I like what I'm seeing this morning. I really do. I really do in the 4-hourly. It looks nice. Daily time frame. Leaves some to be desired, but it's barely giving anything back. We're just looking to close this candle over $2.49. It would be absolutely spectacular. If we could close on a higher high, like the low of this next open, wouldn't even have come past halfway point, and then the high would be above the last candle high. Oh, it would be a great sign going into this end of this weekend. The weekly, I mean, if it closes here, we're in a very nice. I'm telling you right now, if the weekly closes over, let's just say $2.50. If that weekly closes over 250, this is super bullish. You can see in the consolidation in this weekly candle, we had 3.92 billion. On the first reverse back up, we're up to 4.5 billion. So an increase in volume is a good sign. We're trying to get back to the 14, 9, 8.7. Then on the drop, we had 3.92, which is great because you want to see the falling volume on the falling price. So falling price, falling volume is the recipe for a bullish reversal. Increased volume on the drop of price is a recipe for a continuation down. Fortunately, everything is meeting the recipe right now to make a beautiful, beautiful meal, but it's going to be more on the top side. You're going to have gold mixed in with your meal instead of shit, let's just put it that way. If the signals were the opposite, it's like you're mixing, shit in with your food. Right now, you're mixing gold flakes in with your food. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that, but that's what's happening right now. We're mixing gold flakes in instead of, other stuff. Poison. We're not poisoning the supply right now. We're actually helping. If that makes sense. Actually, we did go to 250 yesterday, Tom, shortly, but it did. Oh, I know it did, but we didn't hold it. Doesn't mean anything if it goes there but doesn't hold it. I said it was guaranteed to at least hit 250, but what we don't know is if it's going to hold it. And we've already hit 250. I'm aware of that. But I'm going to still use the assertion that we need to get over that area and hold it this time. And it's actually a little lower now. We can get over and hold like 248 now and be happy. But yeah, we absolutely hit that 250, which we were supposed to. Absolutely. We can look at XDC right now, friend. I'm 7. Good morning to you, brother. XDC's up 4.12%. It's doing rather well this morning. It's trying to do, and I can build this. These are the targets that it could possibly go to in time, depending on which one it wants. But I don't want to keep that there because I don't want to confuse, but this is what we're looking at on the breakout. We've created this uptrending support, which is very nice. And we're about to bust out of it. Just hear me out real quick. So we created this uptrend. And yeah, you could go down to this like this, but I don't agree. You could go like this, but I think it's more like this. So we need to make sure that we're not forming an ascending wedge. That's all. I just want to make sure this isn't turning into an ascending wedge. And if it breaks out, it's going to go right to about 11.1 cents if it breaks out of this. If it's an ascending wedge that it's trying to form, which I don't know if it is. I'm just saying we have to pay attention just in case, because you see how it's a wedge closing. It could also be a bull flag. But it depends how you would look at it. If it were to break down, then you could see it retesting that uptrend right here, the cycle uptrend, which right now would be around 8 cents, which is a heck of a move up from where it was at the last time it touched it. We went 6.7 to 7. Now it'd be another 10% up. That's beautiful if it were to hold, even if it came down there. But just to break out of the short-term consolidation, you'd be looking at 11.1 cents. That's our next area on task. The only thing we're trying to see is if it is forming some kind of weird ascending wedge that needs to get a little bit more consolidation, or if this is just like a traditional bull flag setup and it's going to bounce out. I tend to lean to the upside, but we'll see. Either way, I think it's going to get there in time, but I think it's definitely something to pay attention to with XDC right now, for sure. For sure. Armia, hi Tom, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Can you please have a look at DAG's weekly chart? Ooh, I haven't looked at DAG in a while because I can't buy it. I mean, I looked at it, I think, yesterday for somebody. But before that, I didn't, because I have the chart already drawn out if I can remember which one it is. It's just a matter of it actually getting there. I don't think I would have used this one, maybe. Oh, yeah, this is the one. See, we're still within. Very nice. We've been waiting for this breakout. See, I would be buying DAG right now if I could. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. At 4 cents, I would buy at least 50,000 DAG. I'd buy about $2,000 worth. But I can't because it's not on my exchanges, but I absolutely would. I absolutely would. And if you guys appreciate my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Just to answer a few questions, and we'll get back into the DAG chart. If you're looking to trade cryptocurrency and you're trying to find ones in particular that I trade, I'll just go into my homepage. All you have to do is go into this part. And BITUNIX is the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. They have the lowest maker-taker fees. So if you're a high-volume trader, I highly encourage you to go there, especially if you're trading six figures, so that you don't have to take the tax hit. There's no VPN or KYC. So trade there and then send your capital over to somewhere else where you might want to hold it longer term. Or if you want to send it. But if you're swing trading, I encourage you to use BITUNIX if they have your tokens. I believe in it a little more than HOTCOIN. I trust it more. But HOTCOIN, I do have XDC, VELO, and IOTA on. So I do have some assets. Crypto.com, I encourage you all to click that. They have the Visa debit cards you can put up to 25,000 of your crypto onto. So you can have a prepaid debit card with your crypto. Obviously, you'd have to sell it from your crypto into that. But it's using it for buying. And then if you put it into their wallet that's USD, it's not in the crypto part. It's on your separate holdings. It's backed up to 250K. That's where I have my DGB, ZIL, VeChain, IOTST, IOST, IOTEX, HBAR, XLM, JASM. So I highly encourage that. DGB is there. So if you can't find DGB, that's in the USA. That's where I'm fully verified. That's where I do my tax stuff, even though this year might be a little different because of all the stuff that's coming out. But we'll see. But yeah, that's how I do it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. If you want to send a donation outside of YouTube, not required. Very rarely ever get one of those. Bank is on the app only to buy XRP Healthcare. It's a hub for us to sell it as well. Some of you are having problems, but I just simply went past it, talked to customer service. It allowed me to download it before I talked to customer service. But it only worked on the app, so pay attention to that. We can take a look at HBAR and JASM after. As I'm invested, I have 25,022.2 JASM and IOTEX because I want to have both because they partnered in the hashtag DPIN. If you don't know what that is, take a look. But they partnered together a few short weeks ago. So I think it's critical to have both of them. They say that JASM is the Bitcoin of Japan, and I have no reason not to listen to my fans from Japan. So I had to buy in with them some time ago. And then IOTEX is basically, if you don't have IOTA, this is an IoT token that actually works with the mainframe in some ways. And it's very undervalued in my opinion. So it's one that I like to pay attention to. And the fact that it has ties in with JASM now is incredible. So we're just waiting for DAG to get back over this 8-cent mark. That's almost from where it's at right now. That's why I wish I could buy it. I really do. That's a 30% move to get back here. The moment it breaks out of this, we're on the verge of 177% move from here, though. If it can break out of this descending consolidation, which I have no reason to believe it won't. It should. Oh, my God. Somebody understands the chart. Who said that? Omar, 100% is. I haven't heard that terminology from my audience in a while. It absolutely is. The Adam and Eve double. You're absolutely right. That's why I said it's 100% desirable for me right now. Boom, boom. And it should do something like this and out. And then you'll clearly be able to see boom, boom. Right? You'll definitely be able to see that as it goes. And that's why we created the descending consolidation, which is a very bullish consolidation. Man, I wish I could buy it. I really, really do wish it was on my exchanges. When I used to hold it, it was on Uphold. They break up, typically, I would say about 74% of the time in my own personal understanding. That doesn't mean it can't be a bearish pattern, but most of the time these do break up in a bullish fashion. I'm just going to go on two of the exchanges that are more lenient, like HOTCOIN, that have more of the stuff. Let's see if they added it. Nope. I would even take it in futures market, too. I don't care if it was futures, spot. Unfortunately, no, it's not on any of them. I can't imagine they added it to Crypto.com yet. I used to buy it on Uphold, but I will not support them. The funny thing is I had something work out of my favor and something work into my favor in crypto. So I can't even be mad about that 1,000 tokens Uphold is still extorting from me of my XRP. All the way back from earlier in the year when it was at 40-something cents. But that's where I used to buy it, was on Uphold. But then obviously I sold out of all of my Uphold when they kind of screwed me over. And fortunately, I was able to get everything but those 1,000 XRP. But I actually had an error work in my favor on HOTCOIN, so I'm not even mad anymore. Not even mad anymore about what happened. Because Uphold screwed me out of a couple $1,000. I got an error in my favor worth 10,000 tokens in XLM. I sent them over to HOTCOIN because I wanted to switch them off into something, and I was going to replan them on crypto.com once I had the capital. And when I sent it over, it took almost 9 hours on HOTCOIN to get. I had to talk to customer service. They sent over the 9,999 point whatever tokens. And then when I was sleeping at 1 a.m., I got a second deposit of 10,000 XLM, took it off of HOTCOIN, and I'll never give them back. So they accidentally sent me 10,000 extra XLM. Isn't that crazy? So now I'm not even too worried about the Uphold thing because karma works in all fashions. And I got screwed over by HOTCOIN, as you guys know, a couple months ago, just in the sense of futures trading. And it righted the ship and then some. So you won't ever hear me complain about the issue I had with Uphold, because those 1,000 tokens are worth $2,450. Those 10,000 XLM are worth over 4,400. Yep. Oh, it happened, Mike. I couldn't believe it a couple days ago. I'm the happiest person in the world because I got screwed on HOTCOIN out of funds when I was doing the copy trading to the tune of about $1,300 that some of you don't know. Even though we were up, I got slam-basted on fees that they didn't even show because I was copy trading, and I had to pay an over-the-top cost, which was stupid. So I believe it all worked out in my favor. But anyhow, looking at the markets, you don't think we'll be breaking any pennant flag? No, it might not happen until then. It very well might not happen until then. That's why if there was a rejection point on this pennant, that's why I said even if it gets rejected, there is a very real chance we could come back down here and retest here. But I'm looking at it this way, folks. I know the inauguration is January 20th, but what if we have a buy the rumor, sell the news when Trump actually comes in? That's the other caveat here. That's the other caveat here. You know, what if we're going to have a buy the rumor, sell the news when Trump gets inaugurated? Now, if this is a rejection here, like we said yesterday, if 250 gets rejection, right now it still looks good. It's bouncing off of this uptrend on what could be a little bit of a flare. But if it breaks down, I am not getting rid of this support structure around 220, 217, because I know in my gut that if this fails right here, it could very well come back down here. But my gut's saying, in this pattern that's set up right now on a thinly traded weekend, it's hard to say what the gut says. If this was a weekday, I'd say it's breaking out, no matter what. But on a thinly traded weekend, they do have the ability to kind of preemptively move the market in ways that don't seem apparent at first. So, like I've said to start, it's all going to depend on if Bitcoin takes out of this little bull flag, and the extent of my futures trade on Bitcoin is a whole $200 trade at 25x. That's it. So I don't have a lot of exposure to it. I'm not willing to put a lot of money into it. Gives you a nice downside to where it can sit through this a little bit, but I'm not willing to sit in Bitcoin with any length of money. My gut says I'm hungry too, but I can't eat until 12 o'clock. I fast 16 hours a day, and I'm very, very on the point with it, so I really won't do it, even if I'm on vacation or if I'm for holidays. So I can't, exactly. Oh, exactly. It's a crazy thing with Uphold. I just can't do it. But yeah, I can't eat until 12 o'clock. My last bit of food was last night around 8:30. My last bit of food was an apple and a yogurt too, so I did very well. Very low sugars taken in, besides like the natural fruit sugars and the yogurt. But I definitely notice every time I eat some sugar, I get some kind of a headache. So I'm trying to compound what I eat even with sugars. So now that my herbal stuff is going really well, which I have to take after this, which I'm excited about. It's like a 13 compound mix with about 57 different herbs. It gets me going very well. It even has the L-theanine And yes, if you've been watching TikTok, the L-theanine that come in gummies, please don't buy it for my sake. The Neuro gum, please don't buy it. Why are you going to buy candy? Buy L-theanine, the actual liquid drops. I'm not promoting it, but if you're going to buy it, get rid of that stupid gum. That Neuro gum is trash. Get rid of the gummies. It's like eating a piece of candy. Get you the liquid drops, period. Don't buy that other nonsense. If you're going to take herbs, take herbs. Don't take herbs that are filled with junk. There's cancer-causing materials in every single gummy. Just look it up. Doesn't matter if they're healthy or not. If they're a gummy, they're not healthy. If you want to take a CBD gummy, okay, because you're trying to calm your body, but don't claim it as a health thing. So can you check for me, please? No. I don't talk about speculation with Dogecoin Mars. I maybe at a future time, but I don't really have time to go over that today because I got to get to a basketball game here shortly. Muffins and brownies. Oh, that's a great way to do it. Honestly, if you're going to have a snack, a lot of times it mixes well with chocolate. I'm not a big fan of brownies and that kind of like chocolate cake and stuff. I don't eat them usually. I don't like chocolate that much. I know it's crazy, but I'm not a big fan of chocolate. Julie knows. I don't know what it is. I think I trained myself when I was fat to not like a bunch of stuff. Because I used to be 264 pounds when I graduated high school at 18. And I was like 50% or 48% body. It was not pretty. Body fat. And basically I decided it was a change of lifestyle after I broke my back. And it wasn't about a diet. And I kind of convinced myself certain things I'm not eating anymore. And it kind of stuck. And over the years it got better and better and better. You can't mess with weed. It gives me a panic attack. Oftentimes the people that have panic attacks, and I'm not just saying this, they're smoking a sativa. I am not a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for just to try to shift my diet. Not because I didn't like meat, but I was trying to cut out certain things in the early stages. So I did it for about 2 years. But I was losing a lot of vitamin levels. It's actually not good for you. When I got tested out, when I actually used to go to the doctor, I got my blood levels drawn to see how I was reacting after 2 years of being a vegetarian. Vitamin D was off the charts low. Everything you can imagine was off the charts low that you need. Could have put yourself in the early osteoporosis and things like that. Obviously, I wasn't taking as many herbs at the time, but all the nonsense about meat being bad is just that. Now, if you put a bunch of fillers into it, if you put a bunch of seasonings and different things on it, sure, it can be bad, but the meat itself is not bad. Ooh, you make butter from yours. Excellent. Yes, indeed. I make butter as well. I'm going to implement making can of butter as well, but I do make my own butter. Yeah, you're an indica guy, Jeffrey. You're an indica guy. Excellent. Yeah, indica, if you're looking for energy and you're looking for, that quick hitter, sativa can give you a nice head rush, but sativas are known to be much harder hitter, and they do mess with your anxiety levels if you're not used to it. I in my own experience, if you get caught up in your head, the sativa is definitely going to get you more towards anxiety and panic if you're not used to the feeling. But that's all in your head. The anxiety is all driven by you. Remember, you have THC and cannabinoid receptors in your own body. So it's really, But if you're asking me what I like better, I'm a sativa person, honestly. I like the fact that something will hit and it'll last a little bit longer, but it doesn't hit the exact moment, so it kind of catches you off guard. But there is something to be said for the energy of an indica. If you get the right indica, you get a beautiful rush in the morning. Marvin, you're right. I have anxiety already. It does happen that way. So you have to, if you have anxiety, you've got to control it in your own head. Because a lot of times the big thing with anxiety and cannabis, especially if you don't know strand specific, remember, a lot of these places too, I don't like the government being able to sell all of the cannabis legally because I feel like they put chemicals. So I have to stay away from certain strands at certain price points. Unless I find certain sellers, I can't buy certain ones. I've noticed I get a headache. It's the same thing that happened when somebody I knew was growing years ago and they used more chemicals than I would have liked to. I don't like to use chemicals. I'd rather take the smaller harvest and the pure taste. Most people want the bigger harvest, less taste for more profit. That's not what I want. It's all about the terpenes. Ah, we got a great audience in here. Man, we could talk a lot about cannabis in here. But I do have to go, everybody. I got to go to this basketball playoff game. We've been here an hour. I still got to do some stuff. Exactly. It depends on the company. Depends on the company. And like as far as like what I drink, the only thing I drink, and it's so weird, I drink water. Now, I have milk from Oberweis. It's a company that's right by where I live on Woodward. They've been delivering from their farms since like the 20s. It's like the only one left in Michigan to get actual glass milk bottles delivered to your front door from the farm with nothing, you know, just real milk. Tastes so much different than the stores. And I'll drink that with my, because what I do is I drink, first thing I do is I have like, it's, I guess you'd call it a breakfast drink, but it's filled with all the, it's basically made for kids. It gives you every single nutritional value you can think of, especially for somebody who doesn't eat 3 full meals, because I only eat 1 meal a day. So it gets me off to a good start with the herbs I mix in it, and it gets all of my levels up, and you can feel a difference there. It's like 240 calories. It's got about 15 grams of protein, maybe up to 20 now with the way I do it. And it gets me going. Gets me going. Oh, yeah, the Oberweis is excellent. I get eggs from there. And then I also, last week, I got butter from them just to see. Because I only buy butter from places that only use 2 ingredients. Heavy whipping cream. And then salt if they want to add it. But, like, I like to do my butter myself because I can do the sodium myself with, like, coarse sea salt or Baltic salt. You know, you guys know Captic. So, yeah, I like to do a lot of things myself. I won't lie. Ethereum right now, though, up to 3,600. You know what, guys? I'm going to ask all of you. Do you want to relax together? Would you like to relax together before I leave? I wasn't going to do this on air today. But if you guys say yes, I will do this with all of you because I love this audience. Let me grab a lighter. And then I have my candle. Ooh, right here. Perfect. And I hopefully, in the first 4 days of this year, my resolution is holding true of being calmer, being kinder, but also making sure that we are all staying on that even keel to where we can stay in the proper mindset. I think we've been doing a much better job, and I've noticed the tone. A lot of the haters have left because I haven't been acknowledging it. And I think we're on the right track in 25. Like, I feel so much better in this last 5 days, even in my own personal life, because I'm taking an approach of every time I seem to get upset, I take a step back and, you know, I kind of just work it out through my working out and through my other stuff. Nothing wrong with that goal of bagging 200 XRP this year. Nothing wrong with that. And everybody who's relaxing, I don't smoke cigarettes, so if you ever see me smoke something, I don't smoke nicotine. It's my cannabis. I started smoking cannabis, believe it or not in high school. The first time I ever tried it was at 23 after I broke my back. Actually, closer, I think I was 23, 24. The doctors had me on all these different pain medications and all this other crap. I was one step away from a morphine lick. They wanted me to get the morphine licks and lick it like a few times a day and basically unconscious. That's when I knew something was wrong. And I stopped taking all prescription pills that day forward, even anything that were prescription for like sore throats, anything like that. And I barely ever get sick, knock on wood. But I discovered cannabis and I never took another pain pill after that. And then like they had me on serotonin boosters because my serotonin only boosts at like a 35% level after my closed head injury. I had a very severe closed head injury on the left-hand side 2 years after my broken back. Somebody fucked me over. And on a freeway, they cut everybody off, flipped, and it was bad. Had a closed head injury, frontal lobe damage that'll never be repaired, but it affected my serotonin output. Sure as shit, that was all bullshit, the gabapentin, or the Neurontin, right? And wanting to put you on Cymbalta. I know the routine. I single-handedly pulled myself off of that 20 years ago almost. And I was at the highest dose you could get for that stuff. And I was getting brain shocks. Like, I have experience to speak of. I know what they do to you, and I know how they try to treat you like a, let's just call it for what it is. You're basically being studied on. I had my nerve endings burned off my lower back. Some of you might not know, and we're just going to get into some real stuff. So that I could walk again. I was told I would never be able to walk normal. I'd have to walk with a cane. They had an experimental thing where they were burning off nerves back in 2008, 2 years after my injury. While I was going to therapy for 10 years to try to get back to normal. And it was supposed to, basically, I would have the pain, but I wouldn't acknowledge it. So basically, it burned off your nerve ending from your injury point to where the sensor is in your brain. And it took like 120-something days of straight pain. Every single day I went in, they would shock my nerves 3 times a week. And then I'd go through the extensive therapy. And then all of a sudden, one day, I felt like my personality split. And that was a weird thing. So then I'd be in pain, but I would just smile. Which was bad because then I had to control my own self. Somebody punched me in the face when I was at someone's house, dripping blood, and it's the last time I ever hit anybody, and I was in my 20s because I fractured their face on accident. I didn't mean to, but they cold cocked me right in the face. They went to hit me again, and I just stood up and, yeah. I don't like to be violent, and I did not want to be in that situation, but I'm also not going to get my ass whooped for no reason. I'm a very intimidating person when you meet me in person because of my demeanor, but not on purpose. I've been taught that because of past actions. But yeah. So I don't like to be violent. I wish people would just not. Headed back to work. See you later, Tom. Good show, brother. Pumpmaster Flash, blessings to you, my friend. I appreciate your hard diligence in working on a Saturday, making that living you need to make. I believe in working every day too. I've not taken a day off on this show for anybody who's new since March of 2021 when I started, March 28th. I have not missed a single day, and I don't ever plan on unless I'm incapacitated. And even then, I'm going to have to not be able to talk. JW, I love you too, my brother. Julie, do you want to hit the small joint that I was smoking with them before it's over? Or I can just make one in the room with you after. Huh? You want to wait? Okay. But good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, this hour and 7 minutes. Although we're coming to an end this morning, it doesn't mean it'll be the last time you see me. I'm going to end up doing a short sometime today after my nephew's playoff game, which I do have to leave here soon because it starts at 12, but I plan on getting there about 11:30. I'm going to Uber there because I don't drive because I can't see out of my left eye. And I don't want Julie to have to get the kids together to drive me there. So I just Uber. Or I walk everywhere else if it's within like a mile or two. But I have keratoconus, so I can't see out of my left eye. My depth perception's horrible. So about 2 years ago, I had to come to a realization that I can't drive anymore. It sucks in a way, but it keeps me so humble and humility-filled. Rick can't see out of his right eye, and I can't see out of my left eye. So if we use each other's eyes, we have perfect vision. Well, as perfect as we can have with one eye of our own. Cannabis doesn't, it helps the pain, but it won't ever bring my sight back. If you look into my left eye, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. My left eye has a big white spot on it. That's the cornea. A big scar forms over the cornea, and that's the keratoconus, and it makes you blind over the eye. So your eye might be fully functionable, but there's a scar that blocks your vision. So, see Ham, have a blessed day. That's my new approach. Only our portfolio can tell us the truth, and only our past history will predict if we're doing a good job or not. So, why not swap in your wallet for the coins you cannot get on your exchange? Depends what wallet. I'm also an Uber driver. What town do you live so I can drive you? Wait a minute. You're an Uber driver in Michigan, Jaden? Is that what Jaden, you live in Michigan? That's awesome. I just want to make sure, because then I can tell you the area a little bit better. So I am in the Oakland County area. There used to be a Joe Dumars field house, if you're familiar with Mound Road and Hall Road. Over Julie, what is that? Sterling Heights?
Yeah.
That's still Sterling Heights, but there was an old Joe Dumars field house that got bought out. And that's where I'm gonna be going. Oh, that'd be great. A personal Uber driver, a fan of the show. How awesome would that be?
That'd be great.
Isn't this interesting with some of this? Because ZIL on this one is showing that it's up 0.1% on the day, but because the USDT chart works a little bit differently, it's actually showing almost like it's down a little bit today, but my son went to Michigan State. Oh, excellent. My stepdaughter, or Michaela, she's about to be 18. She got accepted into Michigan State, Michigan, a bunch of others. But I think she's going to Northern Michigan, believe it or not. Because archaeology, right, Julie?
No,
Or, that's right, environmental science. It's the #1 program in our state for environmental science. And she wants to go to Northern Michigan. She has no idea what she's going to be dealing with snow out there. No idea whatsoever.
So sad.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting today. Because look, we had the slow turn. And now we're having the slight comeback. So this is going to be interesting. Because it's a thinly traded weekend, we got to figure out if it's going to break out here. Maybe it comes back down and holds the 20. Maybe it comes down to the 200. Who knows? But it's a very volatile day we're going to see here. But I still anticipate in time for this pennant flag to break out. I can only go with the technicals. You don't even have to ask me if this is me saying it. I'm going with the evidence in front of me. A pennant flag breaks out about 78% of the time. Bitcoin is, however, is in a rising, broadening wedge. And we're just trying to see if it breaks this bull flag out. If it breaks through here and you end up losing here, danger. But really, even if you're in a leverage trade, you don't want to see it come down below 93,000 or 97,300. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be in leverage. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't even be in leverage. I would just let this play out in spot and then do what you got to do. I don't think, especially in the volatility on this thinly traded weekend, I'm gonna live up to my word. I'm actually gonna close both of these leverage trades that I had. One's in the profit, one's down by $18. So I'm up $7 overall. Just to show good principles, I'm closing them, letting the spot positions play out on a thinly traded weekend. So there's no reason to be in leverage unless you want to take a real risk. Because our spot's filled up beautifully. So let's take that risk away from any kind of leverage, and I'm not even going to act like I'm endorsing it right now. So those are closed. Bitcoin slightly up. ZIL was slightly down. Barely. And that's not spot, folks. That was just the continuation of the leverage that I closed yesterday. That I was going to try to just have open. But I see it's a bad principle, to be honest with you. And there's no reason to even have it. So that's where I'm at, everybody. Have a blessed morning. I'm going to go help Julie because she's about to feed our son, too. So have a good evening. I got to go get ready. I got to leave here in about 45 minutes. But I wanted to let Jennifer finish her conversation because they were asking her if she had goats and things like that. You know what I figured out yesterday? How to make yogurt. And it's pretty easy. All you have to do is heat up whole milk. Let it sit for about 30 minutes after it comes to a boil. Mix in some of your favorite yogurt to get the live cultures. Let it sit out. Wrap it in a towel. You mix whatever you want in with it. Let it sit like wrapped in a closed container in a towel for 24 hours, like in a dark spot you're not going to look. And then simply unwrap it from the towel, put it in the fridge for 8 hours, and you've got yogurt. It can't get any easier than that. So I'm going to do that, and I'll report back, but it doesn't get any easier than that. So I'm going to try it. And then all you need to do is use a little bit of your own live culture from your own, with your own yogurt you make. And then just make sure to save some. You said you didn't like, I don't like leveraging at all. But I had an opportunity that I made a couple $1,000s on, as I talked about yesterday. And I was going to piggyback a double ride around, but I decided not to because it's bad principles. But I have to recover the $26,000 it's going to cost me for my kitchen. So that's part of the prophecy. So, which I already have the money, but I want to recover the money that I'm going to have to spend. And $1 is possible, but when is the question? It'll hit $1 in the future at some point. Massive inverse head and shoulders. Technical target on a breakout's 45. But the ultimate target is 62.9 on this cycle if it breaks bullishly the right way. So, but I got to go. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thank you all so much.